Now we will go ahead and actually write the code of getting the songs and um, adding songs, deleting songs from the database and MongoDB. And I'll show you a very cool thing. Okay, I'll I'll just a minute. Now let me make a route which will take data from the user and put it in our backend. Okay, right now we had just given the num equals to 3. This is something similar to that, but much more much more sophisticated. So back to the routes file of api.js, and now we will make a route called, I'll cheat a little. Okay, I'll make a search route instead of this should just be slash songs, but I'll make it slash song slash okay. I think I'll make it search, and we won't use this route as of now. I'll first make a post request. See, I already may help you make a get request. Now I'll teach you how to make a post request. Okay. So when you go to the songs route and you do a post request, as I said, please remember, post is the kind of request you use when you actually want to deposit data to a backend or a database. Okay. So keep that in mind. So this is the route you will use when you want to actually add data to the database. Okay. So there is a thing called request body. Request body is the actual thing which has all the incoming information. Okay. It is either in the query, request.query, which was that in the case of num, remember, request.query.num, or it is in request.body. When the incoming amount of information is very large, we generally use request.body. Like that is what you need to understand right now, roughly. Const. Now this is called object destructuring in JavaScript. Basically, there are many variables in this request.body which will be coming in. You have to understand yourself, right? The body should have the name of the song, the artist name, the image URL, and it should also have the song URL, right? So basically, the request of body will have all this. This is just like in Python you have that tuple destructuring, right? So let's say, how do you swap a variable in Python? You do this, right? So this is very similar to that. That you unpack that object in the left, which is there on the right. Not exactly, but yeah. This is called object destructuring. Okay. So now we do const song equals to await. This has to be, and to be honest, like to be able to use await, you have to have async. Okay, you have to let JavaScript know that the function that we are about to call has await inside it, and this is kind of a pointer, or you can say a notifier to JavaScript that I am writing async here just to let you know that await is being used in the future lines. So you have to do song dot create. This song right here we have to import. Song is basically, it's already imported, so we have to do song dot create, and we will pass this name, artist, image URL, song URL, because all of that is needed to create a song, right? The song object. Then nothing. This has already been completed. We have added this, like by the time this line runs, we have already added the data to this database. Okay. Res dot send song. Okay. So now the song has been created, and now it will be sent to the backend. Let's see if this request works. Now see, the problem is that get request, like whatever you do in this browser, okay, this Chrome, everything you type in this URL is a get request. Okay, everything is a get request which you do in the browser search bar, but there are actually many different kinds of requests that you can do. Okay, to be able to do all of those, you need something more powerful than a browser. Okay, and that's where Postman comes in. To be able to test our API for post requests, or delete requests, you have to use something more powerful than a browser like Postman. There are other alternate services like Hopscotch, and to be honest, you can use the terminal CURL or wget if you want. But Postman, I think, provides the most convenient interface for testing APIs. So we will use that. So while Postman loads, let's have a quick recap that we will now do a post request on the songs route, uh, and then we will see if the song that we are giving is actually being added to the app or not. Okay, so where do we get the songs from? Like I can't memorize a URL for a song, right? So basically in the starter template which we gave you for the backend, there is a readme file, and that has a list of at least, I guess, 10 to 15 songs. They are all non-copyright songs. They are totally royalty free, so you can use those as an example. So I think it might be very intimidating for a lot of you to see Postman for the first time, and your Postman interface might look slightly different from mine. I think you might have something like this when you open Postman. It's a very slow application at times, but let's wait for it to load. Okay, you can click on create new, and hopefully it allows me to make a request this time. You can click on create a request. Yes, so here I have the whole interface in front of me. You should have something like this. So instead of making a get request, we will change it to post. Okay, we will enter localhost 4000 slash songs, and now when I do a post request, in the body I'll click on selecting raw. Okay, raw is what is required to pass JSON data. Okay, because the data that we are passing right now to the user is so vast that it will be very hard to enter through a URL. Okay, so we have to use the body, and to pass data in the body we have to go on body, select raw, and then select JSON. Okay, now where do I get the song data? I'll go and check this readme file in the starter, and I'll pick one file, one object. Like let's pick This Is Life by the RT Acturians, and I'll paste it here. Okay, you can write it on yourself if you have your own MP3, or I'll delete this ID because this is not used. Okay, so I'll just pass. Okay, I'll repeat the Postman part. So these are the 4 keys that you will have to give to the backend in order for it to work. Okay. About Postman, I guess I'll try going over it again just in case. Otherwise, you know the drill. You can go to um, Discord, but I'll show it again once. Music app. Let's name this collection music app. So basically, you have to create a workspace. Then you have to go and create um, a collection. See, these are all my collections. Okay. So you have to make a new collection. I am calling mine music app. If you can create it, like a right click, and maybe you have to click as if I hope you are getting a new button here, and you have to basically create a new request. But sometimes it does not allow you to have your own request without creating a workspace. So you can choose any workspace title that you want. Okay, I suggest you name it music app. Like you can enter a request name, blah blah blah, nobody cares. Like the name can be anything. This description is optional, and you have to choose a collection, I guess. Yes, so if you don't have any collection, you can create a collection, but I already have a music collection, music app. Where is it? Yes, I can select music app, and here I can click save to music app, and now I have 2 requests on my Postman. but I'll delete this one because don't really need it. I'll only require my post request. So you can follow after me. You can do post. You can select post here. Go to body, then click raw, and then you can do JSON, and then you can paste any song that you like from this whole readme file which we have given in our starter template. Just make sure that you delete this id key. I think this got left in by mistake, but no problems. You can delete this id key, and then you will be left with something like this. Okay, then you can click on send, and if everything went on fine, you will get a posted um, thing like this output is actually the response of that request. And this basically, if you get this 200 status code in the top, in the right, and you get this data, that basically means that that song has been added to the database. Okay. Now this is fine. Okay, but how is there any better way to check that this database, this to visualize this data? So in order to do that better, I can do one more thing. That is, let's say I add one more song. Okay, I'll add this dancing in the rain. I'll again paste this whole data, and I'll remove id attribute because that is not required, and I'll re-indent this. Okay, now I'll do another request. Okay, again it was successful. Fine, no issues. What is Compass? It is a tool given to us by MongoDB. It is their own maintained tool which allows you to remember that string which we helped you generate in docdiff. Just a second. So remember that string which we gave you in docdiff, which got generated, which was your key to the MongoDB. You can use that and you can enter that key in MongoDB Compass, and then you'll have a great visualization and a graphical user interface to play with your data. So we will show you that. Meanwhile, I'll answer this doubt. Can you explain what is JSON? JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation. Okay, it is basically a collection, or you can say a structure of key value pairs. Key value pairs, I mean, there is a key, a unique key, and then there is a value attached to it. That value could either be a string, it could be a number, it could be maybe null. I'm not sure if null is allowed. I think undefined is allowed, but not null. I'm not sure. And you can also have array of objects. It's very versatile. It's very widely used. And JSON, I think, is used in many places, not just APIs. You will see that even the package file which we have in our API is JSON. And JSON is a generic way to represent data. So I think that somewhat answered your question, but you would obviously need to explore more to be able to learn more. But basically, JSON, I have a computer, you have a computer. Let's say I'm the backend, you're the front end. There has to be some sort of communication channel between us, right? So in the industry standard that has been accepted upon is that every message that you will send me will be in JSON, and every response that I'll send you in most of the cases will be in JSON. Like that 95% of the all responses and requests are following the JSON structure. Okay. So here, if once you open MongoDB Compass for the first time, whatever string which we generated for you, you have to paste here and click connect. Okay. I think I already have mine connected, so I don't need to enter it again, but you guys go ahead and put that and click connect. You see all the databases that you have created, and there are some additional databases like admin and local which are for MongoDB's own purposes. Don't delete those or change anything in those, but hopefully a songs or something like for you it would be your registration number. For me it's called songs. For you it will be your registration number, which you'll be seeing most probably if you followed my previous steps. Once you click on it, you will see this songs collection. Okay, remember I entered 2 songs in my collection. It's showing those 2 songs, and once I click on this, I think it will hopefully show me. Yeah, it showed me these two songs which got created from me. Okay, which I entered in Postman. So this is what I meant by, being having the comfort of a graphical user interface. So if I want, I can actually go and delete this from MongoDB using this delete icon. If you can see, I can edit this. Let's say I want to name it Dancing in the Rain in this. Let's say just for fun, I want to change it to Dancing in the Sun. I can do that and click update. Although I don't want to do that, so I'll cancel, but you have that liberty. Okay. What was our request URL? Request URL. I think you mean the MongoDB key. So you can go to docdiff and go to enter your registration number, and you can generate a free key. So you can use this if that was your question. This is the URL. And if you're asking in the Postman tab, that is localhost colon 4000/songs. I'll paste it in the chat also. If you are following my instructions, this should be the URL which you send a post request on. Cool. So we have two songs ready now. But can we interpret it? Can we see it in the front end? We'll see. But before we do that, let's do something cool and create a delete route. So what if I want to delete it, right? So I'll go ahead and do another route called router dot delete slash songs, but this time you have to specify the ID of which song to delete, right? Because here it was not required because the ID was supposed to be given to me by the database. But here I have to delete it, so I have to tell what will be the ID of that song which we want me to delete. So I'll take the ID here, and this is how you take an ID in the string in Express. You have to pass a colon, then you have to name that variable which will have the ID. Okay. Again, request response, the old architecture of Express, which we use again and again. Okay. Now we do const song. Okay. Await song dot find by ID and remove. This is the name of this function. It's a very long name, but that's how it's made. You have to await that it finds this request.params.id. Request.params.id is this ID which is passed in the URL. Okay. So you have to do await for this removal. You have to await for the removal of this. And once it is removed, you can send back the song that which you have deleted. Okay. Because this is the final time that that person will be able to access this song. After that, it will be deleted. So let us test this route which we have made. You see, I have the ID of this Dancing in the Rain. What I'll do is I'll copy this ID and use that on my delete route. So instead of having this post request, I'll now go ahead and change this to a delete request. And after the songs, I'll pass a slash and paste this ID. Okay. Now I'll send this request and I got back my song. But if you go back to Mongo right now and hit refresh, you'll see that one of the songs has disappeared because I have deleted that song. Okay. So we have completed two routes, the post route to insert the song and the delete route to delete that song. Okay.